Well, as one of the few global Australian companies, we support that very much.
Yeah.
Right? But I want to take you back to the housing point, because it's something we're very passionate about at Lendlease. We are one of Australia's, probably still the largest developer in Australia. We do a range of product, from commercial office to retirement living to master plan communities. Social and affordable housing is something that our team, our staff, particularly our young staff, are really passionate about. And yet for us to be able to really get involved in the sector has been quite a challenge, because, just being honest, the land holdings of government, generally where you can do good social affordable housing deals, often restrict you from doing it, either from a return to government financially question, because they want a land payment, they want the private sector to pay for the subsidised housing, or from some form of planning constraint. And what's really interesting, the Victorian government have now set up a ground lease model, sort of PPP model for social housing, for Flemington and a few other, Prahran and a few other suburbs, which we looked at, and that, from all accounts, is going to be a good model, because it's a long-term concession model for social and affordable housing. And I think the Victorians can sail that. I understand the Queenslanders are now looking at it. So we're starting to see some sort of change of commercial model around this. We are looking at very much at, Aware Super is one of our major investors. We really think their model is impressive, and we would like to sort of replicate that. I mean, one of the things I'm really passionate about on key workers, and Ryan Park was here recently, the Shadow Health Minister, who's, again, somebody I've known a long time, very passionate about Ryan. Policy, very good guy. And he came in and he was asking a question around hospitals, which we do a lot of, in a PPP and building sense. And one of the questions I asked him is, why don't we build housing for key workers next to hospitals? Wouldn't that make sense? I mean,
stop it.
You've got thousands of people who work in the hospital. In the 1950s, nurses and doctors were provided accommodation as part of their salary package. Now we don't do those sorts of benefits, and we focus only on increments to salaries. What if a nurse who worked at, I'm going to pick a suburb, Liverpool Hospital, could live next to it. Therefore, she's finished her second 12-hour shift and can go back home without having to travel for an hour, right? What if you would then increase workforce stickiness, because you don't want to give up these other benefits? Your children are in school, around the area. Your partner would probably work nearby or whatever. All of a sudden, you change the dynamics of what it means to be a key worker. You could say the same for teacher accommodation. If you have a few suburbs around that all have schools, you could offer teacher accommodation. I think these are conversations with a civil service workforce that we haven't had in a mature way. And I just wonder whether we've got into a rhythm in civil discourse between government and employee where it's only ever about money, and it's not really about net income or net benefit to a person.
And it's not expansive, right? So one of the things